I told him he was my backup. I laughed when I said it, thinking it was one of those throwaway jabs couples trade without consequence. The moment the sentence left my lips, everything shifted. Not slowly, immediately. It felt as if someone had ripped open a window in the dead of winter, and cold rushed into the room. His face didn't crumple all at once, but something behind his eyes changed. A tiny, quiet thing, but enough. He stood up, walked out of the living room, and didn't come back for a long time. We'd been together for years, not flawless years, but steady and warm. He was the kind of partner who remembered the small things. He didn't just say he cared. He made it obvious in ordinary ways. He brought me tea on late nights, rubbed my shoulders when I fell asleep on the couch, left little notes on the mirror, reminding me I was beautiful even on the mornings I didn't believe it. He didn't perform grand epics of romance, but he filled everyday moments with care. I never had to doubt his love. It was present in quiet, consistent gestures. That night, we were on the floor of our tiny living room with slices of cold pizza, half watching a dating show where contestants ranked their dates. I joked, "If things hadn't worked out with Alex, I probably never would have given you a shot. You were my backup." His eyes met mine. There was no laugh, no playful shove. I tried to smooth it over, said it was a joke, stupid, a terrible attempt at teasing. But I knew immediately I'd cross a line. The sound of the words fell hollow and careless in my mouth, like I had chipped away at the foundation of what we'd built. He went into the bedroom, without arguing. I sat there, pizza in hand, frozen and foolish, waiting for him to come back so I could fix it. But the door stayed closed. Hours later, I heard a suitcase roll softly across the floor. "What are you doing?" I asked, my voice cracking. He didn't shout. He didn't accuse me of cheating or betrayal. He simply said, "I've never wanted to be anyone's second choice." It was quiet and certain, a line that left no room for argument. He nodded, turned, and walked out. That night I stayed where I was, the room suddenly enormous and empty. The pizza sat untouched. I kept expecting a text, a call, something to say this was a mistake. Nothing came. I replayed our relationship in my head, sifting through moments where I might have made him feel small or unimportant, wondering how often my flippant remarks had piled up into a slow erosion of his trust. What tore me open was realizing I had assumed he knew how I felt. I thought my actions were proof enough, and yet one careless joke had undone it all. In the morning I called, straight to voicemail. I texted until my fingers ached, pouring out apologies and explanations, trying to stitch words back together that had torn too quickly. I told him he was my first choice. I admitted Alex had been a misstep. I confessed that meeting him had been the moment I stopped settling. I begged him to come back and let me explain, to let me show him what I couldn't say out loud before. He didn't respond. Days slipped by. I reached out to friends, searching for any clue. One friend suspected he'd gone to stay with family upstate. Others had no idea. He left with his usual composure. No drama, no raised voice, only the quiet, decisive movement that had always been a hallmark of him. I cried in a way that hollowed me out, deep, weary sobs that left me empty and raw. I stopped going out. I stopped checking my phone. His jacket still hung by the door. His mug remained beside the sink. The pillow he'd slept on still clung to his scent. All those traces became a museum of what I'd lost. The silence hurt most, but worse was the knowledge that he had pictured a future with me while I had, in a flash of thoughtless humor, treated him like an afterthought. Months later, I wrote him a long letter and poured everything into it. Every apology, every memory, every regret I'd kept silent. I didn't send it. I folded it into a box with our tickets, photographs, and the tiny notes he'd left me. Sometimes I take the box out and read the letter just to remind myself what I threw away. Not because I want to relive the pain, but so I never again forget how quickly love can slip through your hands when you take it for granted. I don't know if he'll ever forgive me. I don't know if he thinks of me at all. I think of him every day. If fate ever tosses me the impossible gift of another chance, I won't try to be clever or funny. I'll say the simple things I should have said from the start. You were never my second choice. You were the best thing that ever happened to me.